I believed you when you said those marks in your face were from zits when you were a teenager, but when your dad told me that there's a reason why your mom's not allowed to have coat hangers in the house anymore, well, I started to have questions. Hello, and welcome to a show that says you don't get to say you're not a whore if you give away more pussy than an animal shelter. Here on the PeterPod Network! Season 2!
Because your theory is we're going to go down there and have a donkey barbecue and I'm going to furnish the ass, right? You are not. You don't know where that's been.
Hello and welcome back. This is episode 8 of the PeterPod Network. I am PeterPod. He's Will in the back. And if our mascot Melissa Cody, aka the butt slut, was a piece of fruit, she'd be one stupid fucking piece of fruit. All right, we got a lot in store for you this week, folks, as the news started off crazy as shit and progressed into dumb as shit. Donald Trump has finally been charged and arraigned on 34 counts of business fraud related to the Donald fucking a porn star who apparently doesn't understand what a contract is. And no one can tell if this is going to help or hurt his campaign for president. Word that the White House press secretary was found driving drunk last week are starting to circulate in as well. And once again, fuck you, Jonah Hill. Because reports this week about Kanye West appear to show that he was fucking serious when he said Jonah changed his life. So we guess no more crazy Kanye, which as we all know was the only person to make us think maybe Britney Spears isn't as batshit nutso as we all thought. So if you want to contact the PeterPod Network and submit a butt slut joke like Hayden and Nashua did, thank you again for that, by the way. Or if you want to let us know what you think of the shittiest little show in New Hampshire, send your email to thepeterpodnetwork@gmail.com. Let us know what you liked and what you didn't. And as always, we have to warn you, we are far from politically correct. So send your shit into thepeterpodnetwork@gmail.com. And remember, if you don't include the THE, you ain't speaking to me. Make sure to hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening from and give us a follow at all the major socials, as well as Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, and pretty much everywhere podcasts or wherever the fuck we are can be found. Which, seriously, what are we? Are we a podcast? I really don't think we are. I know we're assholes, but what show category do we fall into? Write into the email and let us know if you have an idea, because we're fucking curious to see what people think. You can find the archives and everything PeterPod Network related at PeterPodNetwork.com to find all the episodes, the music, and the art that came out of New Hampshire's reason to cancel the First Amendment. Which, don't do that, by the way. Just want to make sure I put that out there. So pucker up your assholes and hope we're not about to talk about you. And let's get this show started like we always do by pointing out this week's biggest King of the Jackholes. Well, I guess you know we're about to piss somebody off. Yes, that's right. It's that time again for the King of the Jackholes, and we were a little stumped on which single person would qualify this week as being the perfect target for our misguided affections. Donald Trump was arrested, so that seemed fair game. Then the Orange Creamsicles handling this shit like he's pleading guilty came with a blowjob. Could have picked Kanye, but again, the little bastard named Jonah Hill ruined that one for everyone. And no, we will not let that go. Still pissed. We also consider Kim Jong-il the former North Korean dictator because, low-hanging fruit. And then we went and actually did our jobs for once, and now that one's coming next week because there was just so much shit that little tin Hitler did. But then someone on staff, Will actually, said something that got us thinking. And he said, too bad Jeffrey Epstein could not commit suicide again. And holy fuck, did that get the wheels moving. Whatever happened to the whole Epstein didn't kill himself movement anyhow? Everyone thought everything about that was all about some fuckery, and there were so many reasons people had when asked if they thought he killed himself. And I guess we just stopped caring for some reason. So here it is, this week's King of the Jackholes is you, America. Myself included. We had potentially the greatest story of all time that everyone who wasn't on a government payroll, fuck, even a lot of the fuckers who were on the government's dick, did not believe at all that Jeffrey, have you met my kids, Epstein killed himself. For some reason, we all just threw our hands up and said, oh well, as if this wasn't the only motherfucker on earth who could reveal and uncover the craziest child sex trafficking ring anyone's ever heard of, which likely involved politicians and celebrities. How does that happen? I watch Steve and I yell a lot, but I mean, Crowder tried to literally hang himself on the internet the same way we were told Epstein did, just to see if it was possible. Spoiler alert, much to the disappointment of way too woke college campuses everywhere, Mr. Crowder was not able to hang himself, but that was the kind of crazy shit people were doing because what we were told made no fucking sense. Epstein didn't kill himself was everywhere for like 2 months or so, and we all know some jackass who takes things too far and got it tattooed on themselves or put it on their car or One house I know a couple blocks away from the four-wall studio who actually built a 10-foot fucking billboard in his front lawn that just happens to point at a daycare. No one even told him to take it down. That's how many people were on the bandwagon. But at some point, we all just let the wheels fall off that wagon, and for whatever reason, we no longer cared that this guy was connected to almost all of the world's wealthiest people while running a pedo ring so prolific that it made R. Kelly want to piss on someone. I mean, really, is no one curious as to why the Clintons were such fans of Jeffrey Epstein? And no one wants to know why they said they only flew in his plane 4 times when the flight logs clearly say they were on their 26? I mean, this guy is the reason Prince Andrew of England is known as quite the ladies' man at all the best playgrounds, and is no longer allowed within 500 feet of one as well. We can only deduce it's because of one of 2 reasons. Either everyone's afraid of getting suicided, and with the Clintons involved, that is actually something to worry about. Or it's the other thing, and everyone noticed that his Rolodex has people from both sides of the political aisle in it, and you don't want to get any underage mud on your folks. So if his personal connections to some of the world's most wealthy and powerful people while organizing a well-thought-out child sex ring isn't enough reason to keep looking into Jeffrey Epstein's death and what else it could reveal, can we at least agree that someone should tell us, in what fucking world is anyone who was on suicide watch because they just tried to commit suicide kept in a cell with a bunch of shit that they can and supposedly did use to commit suicide, at the same exact time that the cameras weren't working and the security guards both admit they didn't check on them for 11 hours even though they reported they did, and never got in trouble? So I'm just gonna pull the band-aid right off here and say it. We fucked up, America. In a country where we are so obsessed with drama and other fucked up shit, someone yelled squirrel and we gave up on what could have been the craziest story in modern history the same way Respect gave up on Lindsay Lohan a long time ago. So there it is, America. We are King of the Jackholes! Do you miss those good old days? When you knew that when you got home after a long, hard day of work, you could sit back with a nice cold beverage, and you didn't have to worry if your son would come to the dinner table wearing a dress. Remember when your wife just shut the fuck up when you told her to? Hi, you may know me. My name is Jeff McConaughey, and I'd like to talk to you about Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. Now, my stepbrother Matthew warned me last time I spoke to you good folks about the beauty and majesty of Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor, because I say things like, who else misses the days when the kitchen was only for women and immigrants? Crafted only from the finest parts of roadkill raccoons and brewed by our master brewers who give you their promise that this time they will clean out those toilets before they use them to create that signature turpentine taste that we all have come to know as Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. So if you miss those days when you knew who your child's father was, or remember a time when body positivity meant not using your 4 chins to eat enough donuts to fill your 4 stomachs, then what you need is Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. When you want to speak your mind, what you need, a Drunken Advantage. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor is not FDA approved, which means don't drink it. We make this shit with a boat or a bucket, some surgical tubing, and a toilet. Unless you are able to digest kerosene, do not ingest. Haha, now you can't sue us. What are the words to the song? I don't know, but I'll carry on, because I've got something to say. And here comes the rant of the week. The rant returns. Welcome back to the only rant that's not just a rant. It's also a cry for help. And actually, what better way to describe this week's rant than as a giant fucking cry for help? So what are we going on about this week? What's pissing me off to high heaven now? Well, that'd be the thing that's sweeping the world, and I just deleted it off my phone. Yeah, I'm talking about TikTok. Now, I do want to start this rant by saying I didn't delete it off my phone because I think the Chinese are spying on me. Then some decent jokes about Chinese president come suck aplenty. Those bastards that get really fucking bored on my phone. Now, the reason we were ranting about TikTok this week is because of the real reason why I got rid of that shit to begin with. Way too many of you have access to show the world how fucking retarded you really are. Holy shit, I've seen better put together people in episodes of Jersey Shore. And what the fuck is with the lip syncing? Is that a thing now? You pick some shitty song we'd never listened to on our own, and now we have to watch while you pretend to be Whitney Houston? Fuck the lip syncing. The only video we want to see with you that has anything to do with Whitney Houston is the one where we find your bloated corpse floating face down in the bathtub. And the self-help videos. What the fuck? Anyone who's going to TikTok to get advice on your mental health may as well give up now and invest in a rope and a stool. Why the fuck would you think Janine from the Mystical Me page is qualified in any ways to diagnose your bipolar ass? We sent hundreds of future doctors every year to learn and perfect the art of healing in the safest and most effective ways, but somehow we've decided that having 40,000 followers is a better qualification than 12 years of medical school? You gotta be out of your fucking mind. Now I want to ask this as a general question. Why is the thing that brought us such wonderful new trends as the Tide Pod Challenge, which we all remember, the Benadryl Challenge, where you drop some Benadryl pills and see how long you can fight it before you pass the fuck out? My favorite, the Coronavirus Challenge, where people went around licking random objects like toilets and shit. Or even the Corn Cob Challenge, where you take a corn cob and attach it to a drill, and I guess special needs people, because that's what you'd have to be to do this one, as proven by singer Jason Derulo when he did it, and then broke his teeth out because he brought the drill to his mouth. At least you can say you have full retard on film, I guess. We're not saying social media is bad. I've got a few myself, but nowhere on earth is there a place like TikTok where the point is to become a little bit dumber. You may have earned a few intellectual points when you saw the video about planetary alignment from Neil deGrasse Tyson, but you lost way more when you watched that video of that lady eating her lipstick while she advised you on her horoscope. Stay tuned for the news right after this. My girlfriend is 95, and she said she'd buy me a PS5. Already got a new car, I only had to sleep with her. She smells like ointment, but I got me a brand new watch. Sure, it's like having sex with a corpse, but it's better than having to get a job. She eats dinner at 4 p.m. and then she has me after Hollywood Square. She may be older than dirt, but she'll buy me almost anything. She smells like ointment, but I got me a brand new watch. Sure, it's like having sex with a corpse, but it's better than having to get a job. She smells like ointment, but I got me a brand new watch. Sure, it's like having sex with a corpse, but it's better than having to get a job. She smells like ointment, but I got me a brand new watch. Sure, it's like having sex with a corpse, but it's better than having to get a job. She smells like ointment, but I got me a brand new watch. Sure, it's like having sex with a corpse, but it's better than having to get a job. Coming to you live from the PeterPod news station's world-famous Stage 5. Join our host in discovering what makes you tick, New Hampshire. Is your neighbor secretly running a Taiwanese brothel out of his basement?
He is.
Are they open when I get off work tonight?
They are.
Do we know if they accept checks?
They do.
Can someone call my wife and let her know I'll be late?
On it.
This is the PPN News. First up tonight, our combined efforts of both the Sanborn Police and the New Hampton Police Departments ended what could have potentially become one of the greatest children's birthday parties of all time. If only the person they were investigating knew anyone stupid enough to bring their kids around her. Megan Conway, otherwise known as Megan Batchelder, 38 of New Hampton, was arrested after police searched her home and discovered over a pound of fentanyl, as well as pills, loaded weapons, meth, assorted knives, $41,000 in cash, and a fucking sword. Because that's what you want, a crazy bitch on meth who has easy access to a sword. Charges of intent to distribute are among the various problems Megan Conway will be facing as she heads towards her court date, but the town of New Hampton feels rest assured that they ain't gonna see that half a bag of trash for a long fucking time. Next tonight, someone is finally standing up against the unfair advantages some people have on our buses. Virene Poliquin is facing multiple charges after a February 17th incident where she is seen on video assaulting 5- and 6-year-old disabled children. And this reporter has to ask, why are disabled kids on the bus to begin with? They are literally sitting in seats that have 4 wheels. If you were to sit in their lap, they are the fucking bus. Beep beep, motherfucker. We got places to go. Reports are that Poliquin slapped and kicked the children while also pouring a water bottle on one of the kids' heads. One of the children reported that they had been attacked by Poliquin as many as 7 times. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the kid's fault for not learning the previous 6 times? I mean, really, just because you can't feel your legs doesn't mean you can't practice some personal responsibility. Currently, Poliquin is facing 9 counts of misdemeanor simple assault, and just judging from the mugshot, it was worth it. Last up tonight, the Indian ambassador to the United States came and left New Hampshire this week. Our guess is that he took one look at what lives under the bridges in Concord and said, fuck this, we have enough trash where I come from. Before leaving the Granite State, Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu spoke to the New Hampshire House of Representatives, and if he's anything like the rest of us, he wasn't impressed either. Upon his departure, the ambassador did remark that he was proud of the Indian citizens that are emerging as business owners and experts in technology here in New Hampshire. As for the rest of us, the ambassador may have been heard saying, lot of white people you got here. Hello, it's me again, Jeff McConaughey, and I wanted to once again speak to you about Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. Do you ever have those days where the boss is getting on you about this or that? Well, the kids just won't stop asking the dumbest fucking questions. These are the times where you need a Drunken Advantage. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor may not be part of a balanced breakfast, but it sure does help you in those times when you need to decide if someone needs to get punched in their stupid 8-year-old face. For those times when the wife wants to talk about the kids, for those times when the kids want to talk about anything, you need the Drunken Advantage. A secret mountain family recipe passed down for generations and is still crafted the same way our fathers did, with child labor. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor is more than your average high-quality prison toilet beverage. It can also remove the aluminum paint off a jet and can make any high school after-prom party a gathering of friends that the EMTs will never forget. So if you spend your days working a job you hate and are married to a woman you'd like to see fed to a wood chipper, it sounds like you need a Drunken Advantage. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. Proud sponsor getting that bitch to shut the fuck up. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor is intended for industrial use only and is not intended for humans, pets, livestock, or poisoning your ex-wife. If ingested, say your goodbyes now, you don't have long. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor may or may not be sleeping with your daughter. Listen to stories from around the world. Sit back and relax with your girl. Try not to laugh until it hurts. Welcome to another edition of our world. Welcome back, friends, even though I don't know why I would call you friends. We've never met, and I am a bit of a dick. Anyways, we are here again with another edition of Our World for episode 8. So let's say we get started reminding everyone that shitty people exist all over the world. There's some fuckery afoot as reports and non-reports both are pouring in that White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was possibly involved in an incident where she may or may not have been caught driving while intoxicated and getting into a car accident. Normally, who gives a fuck? But this mystery is turning out to be better than that time Scooby and Shaggy finally asked why they don't have balls. Situation remains murky as no arrest was made, and posts with photos on social media were marked as misinformation on Facebook. And then the posted article about this incident was taken down altogether by Facebook soon after. Too bad about that ex-cop from New York, though, who posted the news on her social media. And of course, those photographs we mentioned earlier taken by witnesses on the scene that surfaced on Facebook, well, people screenshotted those. And with those photos, witnesses claim that they show a visibly drunk press secretary being carried away by police and others to another vehicle that arrived soon after the police did. Word around town that a cover-up was going on must have prompted something, as members in the media report that they were instructed by White House staff not to ask anything about the incident, which anyone with a 2-year-old and who isn't a fucking moron knows, if you tell them not to ask, they're gonna ask. Why is my government so fucking dumb? Well, it appears planet Earth as a new sports giant as the home of pretend fighting is merging with the home of fuck around and find out. That's right, the WWE and the UFC are joining forces under the parent company of the UFC to form a new unified unnamed company valued at $21.4 billion. And to top off the big news, the once disgraced Vince McMahon has been placed back in charge as executive chairman, which surprised many as McMahon has had previous accusations that he likes to fuck the office staff two at a time and then use company money to hide it. Which, if you can get it, it's not a bad deal. You open your mouth and swallow a couple loads from a geriatric old pervert for a few months, then he gives you a couple million to keep that mouth shut. Beats looking like one of those desperate mongoloids on OnlyFans. Also tonight, a person is dead after falling from their room balcony on the Virgin Voyages cruise ship. And while this story is sad and our condolences go out to the family, we do have to laugh a bit when we found out that when this poor woman's descent suddenly ended, she did so by landing on another passenger. Luckily, the second passenger involved was not seriously injured, though we suggest next time bring a helmet. Next, turns out those people who said the Easter candy peeps are just colorful pieces of shit may have been right after all, as the dyes used in the holiday staple have been found to be cancer-causing agents. The fluffy sugar-based Easter treat has been a common theme in many households for generations all around the world. So when word broke out that the bright sugar bombs were actually horribly bad for you, people around the world did exactly what you expect them to do. They bought more. Because we really are that fucking dumb. For those of you out there who aren't borderline retarded, the specific dye to watch out for is known as red dye number 3, or urofacine, which after having tried pronouncing that, now I feel borderline retarded. Finally tonight, Joey Chestnut has told the rest of the world to once again suck his balls as he takes home the title in the World Burrito Eating Championship in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this week. Qdoba burritos were on the menu in this one, and each contestant had 10 minutes to show the world why they didn't have any friends in high school. Each burrito was said to weigh over a pound, and Joey Chestnut won in a close race as the second-place glutton was only one burrito behind. All in all, Chestnut ate 14 and a half burritos, averaging one burrito every 41 seconds, and taking home a $5,000 prize and a case of runs, not seen since the great Easter disaster of '94, when my grandmother cooked the bird in the microwave and we didn't have enough bathrooms.
You call me an old man, let me see you do that again. Well, I fought in World War II and I will kick your ass, young man. Then I sigh, you lost your ball in my yard again. Well, I'm gonna hold on to this so you don't turn into little hooligans. And I said no. Here I sit out on my porch again. I'm old and tired and I don't need no friends. Don't you ride your bike on my grass. It's gonna be your ass when I have to tell your mom. Said I'd like to be what I was again. It's no fun to sit here in a pair of full deep ends when I find a flaming bag of shit. You better believe I'm gonna get myself some revenge. And I said no. Here I sit out on my porch again. I'm old and tired and I don't need no friends. You could end up being my kid. From what I'm hearing around the neighborhood, your mother does get around a bit. Yeah. Here I sit out on my porch again. I'm old and tired and I don't need no friends. Here I sit out on my porch again. I'm old and tired and I don't need no friends.
And that is it for this week's show. We hope you enjoyed everything you heard, plus the flashback songs this season's gone by. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a follow wherever you find us, and check us out on Amazon Music, Spotify, Samsung Podcast, YouTube, and many more places where podcasts can be found. Just put the name PeterPod Network in that search bar and see what happens. You can hit up the email at thepeterpodnetwork@gmail.com and send in your butt slut jokes. And if they're any kind of good, we'll read them on the air. Special thanks again to Caden in Nashville for their butt slut joke this week. We look forward to seeing all the ideas you guys send in. Also, the archives are alive and well at PeterPodNetwork.com, where you can listen to all the episodes, including the ones you can't find anywhere else. Check out the episodes, the songs, and every so often a little piece of our minds, only at PeterPodNetwork.com. So for Will in the back, I am Peter Pod, and our mascot Melissa Cody, aka the Butt Slut, really is that fucking dumb. People have checked. Good night, fare thee well, and we'll talk to you next week on the PeterPod Network. Bye now.
Here we are with what you want, you want if you don't. I've already had too much to drink and I might be a little stoned. Yeah, ready to be stupefied by a story about your mom. And maybe you'll realize that we just don't give a fuck. Just trying to have some fun. Just trying to have some fun. No, we don't care, really don't give a fuck. Just trying to have some fun. Just trying to have some fun. No, we don't care, still gonna call you a cunt. Just trying to have some fun. Just trying to have some fun.